First item on the agenda is the closed session portion of the meeting. May I have a mover and seconder for motion to go into closed under the authorities as printed in the agenda? Councillor Perk, Councillor Tedesco. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Time being 6:30. Okay, council approve the closed session minutes of the August 15th and August 25th meetings and discuss potential litigation in closed session. Okay, time being 7 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, we have the traditional territory acknowledgement, followed by a moment of silence. Council of the Township of Red Rock hereby acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Robinson Superior Treaty and that the land we gather on is home to the Red Rock Indian Band, the Anishinaabe, and the Métis people. Administration advises that there are no new amendments to the agenda. Do any members of council wish to make any amendments to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, can I have a mover and seconder for motion to approve the agenda as presented? Councillor Park, Mr. McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Are there any declarations of interest to disclose? Seeing none. Okay, the minutes of the last regular meeting, August 15th, are at items 5.1 of the agenda. Are there any errors or omissions to note on the minutes? Seeing none. May I have a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the minutes at items 5.1? Councillor Tedesco. Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Okay, the minutes of the last special emergency meeting, August 25th, are at items 5.2. Are there any errors or omissions to note in the minutes? Seeing none, can I have a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the minutes at items 5.2? Councillor Muir, Councillor McDonald. Oops. All in favor? All hands rising, with motions carried. Okay, correspondence. First item 6.1 is information purposes only relating to the site selection timeline from the Nuclear Waste Management Organization for a deep geological repository. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Muir.
Yeah, I'm just a tad bit confused. I thought there was opposition, and I'm seeing that they're down to 2 sites. I was under the impression from other correspondence we received that there was nothing but opposition. Mark, do you have any information on that?
Well, I think there definitely is opposition, but the NWMO is moving forward with the site selection process. They are down to 2 communities. I have reached out to them to come into Red Rock for an update to council. At this point, they have said they would, but I haven't got a committed date from them. But moving forward, they have selected down to 2 communities, Ignace being one, as well as South Bruce, I believe it is, in the GTA, that general area. So that's when they will go from the 2 communities down to 1. But again, I have reached out to them to address council, and I'll try again on that.
No other questions or comments? Seeing none. Okay, item 6.2 is information purposes only relating to a summary from the NOMA board meeting held on August 14th, 2022. Do any members of council have any questions of Mark? Nope, seeing none. Okay, next item 6.3 is information purposes only relating to a recap from NOMA on the 2022 AMO conference. Do any members of council have any questions? It was a good write-up. Councilor Muir?
Yeah, it was a very detailed, excellent write-up. There's a lot of stuff they're fighting for that's it's definitely important. So I highly recommend everybody in our community give this a read.
No other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. Okay, item 6.4, information purposes only relating to a summary on topics that NOMA has continually have been working on our behalf and all the municipalities that they represent. Do any members of council have any questions? Again, another good write-up. Okay. Item 6.5, information purposes only relating to the Thunder Bay District Municipal League Annual Conference. Do any members of council have any questions? Councilor Muir?
CAO, are you attending?
Yeah, and that's what we're looking for from council as well. If there was any member of council that was looking to attend, that they could please let us know tonight or right away as early as tomorrow, so that we can do the registration process. But yes, I can definitely attend for sure.
I will be attending and I'm presenting as well at the conference. So again, just let the CAO know if you're able to go.
Can you give me some detail?
I'm actually just giving the not welcoming address to the EMS director.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and he's going to report, so I'll have to be nice to him. Okay, moving on. Items 8.1 is a report on administrative activity. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Tedesco.
Mark, can you tell us where the asset management plan is at?
Yes, certainly. So the asset management plan will come to council. It is in my update. It will come to council. So PSD Citywide, who has been handling the data portion and entry of our asset management plan for the township. So they will have a presentation to council on at our next council meeting. So Monday, September 19th, they will be here to present that to council. And that'll have us in compliancy with where we need to be based on that timeline. So, yeah, certainly. It usually things do run into a timely. Nothing ever seems to get done as quick as you think it's going to get done. That's for sure.
And the garbage truck, any update? It's still being serviced?
Yeah, I can certainly give you an update there. So basically, we do have our new used backup garbage truck. It is in Red Rock now, being going through a safety process. So at that point, we'll move forward with a plan based on that. We still have been short-term using the Nipigon truck. The Township of Nipigon's been very generous to basically let us use that truck while we were in a bit of a bind based on an annual safety check on that truck. So part of the deal on the short term with Nipigon was the fact that we could together, both communities could find a suitable backup garbage truck. We were lucky enough to reach out to the city of Thunder Bay. They had a surplus truck, and Township of Red Rock was able to acquire that truck. So it is here. We're just waiting on a final safety check for it. Expect that this week. Yeah, thank you. One other update, or a couple other updates. We are still tentatively looking at September 20th for a grand opening or ribbon cutting for the new wastewater pollution control plant. We actually just got the official signed documents today from the province. based on the lift station upgrades. The lift stations are looking like they probably will not be in service until the spring. I don't think we'll have enough time to get that project in at the end of this year, but we were able to extend that project based on that timeline. So we will be able to get that done. But yeah, we should have more updates in the next day or so. I was just waiting back to hear back from the communications team at the province based on the ribbon cutting, but they're both levels of government are excited to have that done. So I will have an update for you probably this week sometime, but that's still the tentative date at this moment. We thought the forecasted administration's forecasted plan for the recreation center is a soft opening, what we'll call a soft opening for October. So if you use tentatively the date of October 1st, we've based that around discussions with user groups, most specifically with the Adult Bowling League, who is at that point one of our biggest users in that facility. They're using that as a timeline. So we'll look for a soft opening then, and what we would be recommending is an early part of November for a full opening based on the ice surface, if that was the desire of council. What I'm thinking is if you did start that in early November, you might have a mid-November start, and you could probably tie that into that mid-March kind of that time of year where you're just kind of getting yourself right to the March break. When you look at what we projected on last year's numbers, we were very close. Red Rock is a bit of a unique situation with our building because putting the ice in really doesn't run you as big a cost as you would think, because our building is open all the time anyway. Our restaurant is there. You are opening your facility. It's generally a cold building where I mean, there was a lot of times last year it was so cold that the plant was, it was kind of making solid ice on its own. So that would be our projected plan. That's what we're looking at. So having the building back operational on a soft level on October 1st, and then having ice around let's say around mid-November to mid-March.
Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. Is there a mover and seconder for a motion to receive the report? Councillor Tedesco, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Okay, next item is 8.2, report on a disconnecting from work policy. Do members of council have any questions of administration? Councillor Tedesco.
This is a relatively new phenomenon that's happening. It's called quiet quitting or something to that effect. And generally, I'm very much in favor of the concept. I'm kind of concerned that this is a very new venture, and perhaps it could be deferred for acceptance later on once perhaps it's studied a bit more.
Well, it's actually a mandated policy that we must pass based on being an employer of over 25 individuals. So, which we are in Red Rock. That would count our summer students. It would count any time you're in and out. There may be times we're under the 25, but there's times we're over 25 as well. I think I mean, so there's really not an option of deferral as we go through this. I mean, it is something that will be enforced. It will be a compliancy piece that you need, not just in the municipal world, but any employer that has more than 25 employees. I know the girls in the office are probably pushing pretty hard for it, because sometimes I'll not understand the word disconnect because I seem to work sometimes in the evening. So they might be excited to see the disconnect policy from the CAO. But yeah, it is something that that we do have to adopt and pass. I mean, it's certainly this is something that we need to do as a township with more than 25 employees.
Councillor Mayor.
So is this, so the disconnecting from work policy, are you going to do yearly reviews with this? I see there's signing at the bottom. Are you going to do every other year? Or just as the policy changes? Or just for hiring on?
You're meaning as the employees sign that?
Yeah, like will this be part of a yearly review? Here's some policies to remember, just as a general reminder. Because I mean, disconnecting from work, it's like you said, it goes, you do it for a couple of weeks and then you kind of start slipping again, right?
Yeah, well, as you're signing by the employee and the employer, I think that's a great idea. It's so new that it's something that we do have to bring into place. But yeah, I think that's probably a really good way to look at it. Obviously, you're going to do that with any new employees as they come in. But I think it would be a great thing to review every year on an annual basis for sure.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor McDonald.
I just noticed that there's a few typos in there. Do we have to correct those before we pass this?
Yeah, we could certainly correct those for sure. We can have a look at it and you can point those out
Yeah,
for sure. We can
I
go
can.
through that for sure. Yeah.
Okay, seeing no new questions or comments, is there a mover and seconder for motion to accept the disconnecting from work policy for the Township of Red Rock? Councillor Muir, Councillor Park. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Next item is 9.1, bylaw to appoint a compliance audit committee for the 2022 municipal elections. Does council have any questions for administration? Or maybe, Mark, you can explain it, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so again, it's part of the puzzle for the municipal election. It's another compliance piece that as we go through the process, we need to appoint a compliance audit committee. If there is any issue that someone may bring forward based on our election or our election results. So in this, with what you see in this bylaw is something that has been done in Red Rock in the past, and we followed the same compliance audit route. So this is the City of Thunder Bay's compliance audit committee that they allow us as smaller communities surrounding to use their committee if it becomes something that we need. It's not necessarily that we will need this, but if it does happen, then we have it in place, which actually we need to do under the Municipal Act.